Michael, I never want to take this for granted. And I almost did when I came in last night to Phoenix. Old Town Scottsdale, more specifically.
Yeah.
Like, oh, another Super Bowl. But, man, this is a privilege. This is fun to have our show here, to be here, to experience the energy of Super Bowl 57 on Radio Row with Brother from Another. This is our second consecutive year doing this.
In person.
This is my 11th Super Bowl week covering. How many Super Bowls is this for you now?
Mike, when you've done so many, you kind of lose count.
Right.
Now, I don't know. It's been a lot.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Right. I thought you'd have more than 11, honestly.
Yeah.
Being the beat reporter that you were,
I took a break.
the national reporter that you were.
I took a break. But, I mean, obviously this is full circle for us, and I think we talked about this last year. But we, of course, sat next to each other in Super Bowl 36 in the Superdome in New Orleans for the Patriots' first Super Bowl championship, which changed our lives for the better in many respects, that experience. And
that first one.
That
first one is beautiful.
As Sade said, it's never as good as the first time.
Come on now.
That's too old of a reference for you. I'm gonna keep.
She's like, who?
She's like, who's Sade? Oh, my
who's
parents
Sade?
used to listen to Sade. That's right.
Who's she?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think my parents used to listen to that music. But the reason we starting off talking about just what a privilege and how fortunate we are to be here is this is your first. Now you are known as a hoopstress, as an NBA queen, Natalie, but thanks to your role on Brother from Another, you've had to expand your repertoire, and here you are for the first time. You're credentialed and everything.
I am.
At the Super Bowl. How do you always cheesing? So I don't know. Like, she always happy. So I don't. It's like, is this extra happy, Natalie, or is this like how are you feeling first Super Bowl experience?
I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's amazing. This is all surreal to me.
Yeah.
What are you nervous about? I'm curious. I'm curious. Because, I think nervousness is normal, but I think you can help us by letting us know what you're most nervous about, so we can kind of demystify this whole thing.
Well, I'm a preparer. I like to prepare. Mm-hmm. And the people don't know I wasn't supposed to be on right at this moment.
We walked up. Mike and I strolled in here late.
Came in.
On CP time, as usual. And just and say, hey, Natalie, get mic'd up. Come on. You're coming on the show.
You want to do the show?
You're coming on the show.
Just come on the show.
She's
What's
like,
the big deal?
Okay.
Yeah, so, not like...
Sink or swim, Natalie. Sink or swim.
Not super nervous, but a little nervous, but exciting.
Good nervous.
Yes, and it's the first time I get to share the stage, as
first
I'll
time
put
we're
it,
meeting.
with both of you,
we've never met in person.
Not in person.
So wait a
Y'all
minute.
met last night.
Wait a minute. Today was the first time?
Yes.
First time.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
First time.
today was the first time you guys have met in person.
Yeah.
And I immediately walk up and start barking complaints. I'm like, this ain't right. This ain't right.
That's why I thought you guys had known each other. Are you serious?
But it seemed like we've known each other for years, right? This is the first time.
Yeah.
This is
wow.
the first time. Like, we've been on the phone. We've been on the phone for hours and
Yeah.
hours and hours, and she probably tried to get off the phone with me. You know how it is trying to get off the phone with me.
It's just like,
It's really hard. Well, let me let you go.
Right. Let me get this. You got to make up something, man. I got to go get this thing.
Yeah.
Mike.
But never in the same space. But it's good to have you.
Good to have you. And the
Glad
only
to be
thing,
here.
I'm so happy that you're here. The only thing you're missing from this trip is that you forgot something. You left New York and you forgot something you were supposed to bring. Shout out to your mom. What did your mom tell you to bring and you didn't bring it?
Yes, well, y'all all heard about Gary's sweet potato pie. And then, my mom got in the mix because...
Mom's competitive.
Really? Wait, this is all news to me.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, she
Some
made
Gary
sweet potato
Carter
pie, but it's in
makes
the
a
freezer.
better pie.
You
I have it in
forgot the sweet
freezer.
potato pie?
I forgot the pie.
Like Gary Carter. Who's Gary? Let me show him. She's probably multitasking. Let me just whip a little pie together.
I ain't even tasted Mom's pie, but with all due respect to Gary, I'm putting my money. I'll take the Pepsi challenge with Mom's. I don't know. Something about Mama's pie is number one, which I know is Gary's mom's recipe, but something about Mama's pies and a mama that decides to say, hold on for a second.
Hold on.
And create a challenge. The sweet potato pie challenge. They ain't doing it on TikTok, but they're doing it on Brother from Another. Sweet potato pie challenge.
I love the sweet potato
Everybody
pie.
wins.
Yeah, we win.
Everybody wins.
We win.
Except for
You
my
guys
waistline.
will get it. I'm so sorry. I forgot it.
So, but seriously, enjoy this week. I will try to make it as stress-free for you as I can.
Okay.
But enjoy
You'll
this
never
week.
forget it. You'll
Yeah,
never forget it
that's
either.
what I'm saying. It's just like, and
Get
before
that
you know
first
it, it
week.
becomes old hat for you, and you get caught up in the minutia and the grind and the stress, and you kind of forget how cool this actually is. So I'm glad to be kind of experiencing this through your eyes in many respects.
And Michael learned this last night. You don't know because I don't actually come on that much to talk football, but I am an Eagles fan, so that's who I'm rooting for.
I didn't know that.
We didn't, I mean, that was a scoop last night.
I didn't know that.
That
So
was
this
breaking
is really
news.
big for you. You buried that. Okay.
Yeah.
In journalism, in our business, we have this phrase called burying the lead. Okay. It's like, why didn't you tell us this before?
It was almost at the
didn't ask?
next to
Oh,
last.
I gotta ask everything. That's what I'm saying.
It was
How
at
many
the
times I told
next
you
to
I don't want to
last
have to ask
paragraph.
for everything. I get tired of asking for everything around here.
Next to last paragraph in the story was like,
So
oh yeah,
you're
by the
Eagles
way,
fans. This is big.
I'm an Eagles fan.
This is huge. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Surprised you're not even wearing green.
That's later in the week. You got time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
So
got
now
time.
you know what that means. Now you're coming on every day, because that makes you a correspondent. So now you get comfortable. That
we
makes
may,
it,
yeah, we may send you on some Eagles assignments.
I know, right? You got to go to media
Because,
day,
yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
it is now.
there'll be
and
some insights.
Press conferences.
I'm
You'll
down.
pick up some insights
Wow,
just
who
from talking to
knew?
people.
Eagles fan. How perfect is this? First Super Bowl and the Eagles earn it. Perfect.
Yes.
But another tradition here at the Super Bowl, at least for Brother from Another, is Brooklyn Nets drama. This is last year at this time, if I recall correctly, because it's been several trade demands ago. I think Harden was actually traded
Yeah.
during Super Bowl week last year.
During Super Bowl week,
Yeah.
we were out at SoFi.
Yes.
We broke off into a room, one of those fancy suites at SoFi. Sorry, Uncle Stan. We went into one of your suites, and we just did like an emergency Brother from Another, didn't we?
Not one to avoid accountability.
Accountability for what?
And with that, I'm going to shut up because this is your moment.
I mean, what happened?
This is
what happened. In January 2021, everybody, in 2021, January, James Harden was traded from Houston to Brooklyn. What? Houston's awful. It's not me. It's them. He wanted out of Houston. And now here we are in February of 2022, a whole year later. It's like a whole year later, and now he's gone from Brooklyn to Philadelphia. I love it.
So now we're trying to come to the Super Bowl,
Mike,
trying to talk some football, trying
Mike.
to talk about your Eagles, and Kyrie Irving demands a trade that is immediately shipped off to the Mavericks.
What's so great about it is that how hard you went in, Natalie. The man, when they got there, this big three, that's just known for, like, I think they're gonna put a sneaker. They're gonna put a sneaker up into the rafters at Barclays Center because, hey, Natalie, I don't know if you heard this. If Kevin Durant shoots size, I know you know it. I know you know because I've
Still
heard
your
you.
greatest moment
I've
in
heard you
Brother
cuss
from Another
about it.
history.
I've heard you cuss about it. Okay, if Kevin Durant that's their signature moment. What is KD's signature?
You know they went
shoe?
13
They
and
should put
3 when
KD's
all three of them played together. Did you know that? Did you know that, Natalie?
Yes, because
Put KD's shoe up there. Put it on display.
And those
when you
74
walk in.
games that Kyrie and KD played together were something.
Why?
It will
do you
never be
believe-
forgotten.
Mike,
Why?
why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
What is it?
I don't know.
But he went in so
I don't know.
hard.
I don't know
Hey,
why I
they're
believe
So
it.
many people
What
did.
an unstoppable offensive force. Oh, and you know what?
I
What's
did
the-
not foresee the level of dysfunction.
How did you not see it?
And you tried to warn me about it. But I
They're just those people.
I didn't imagine that all three of them at various points would request a trade. I didn't know that. I couldn't see that coming. I mean, I thought maybe there'd be an issue with sharing the basketball, but that's the crazy part. But the crazy part is that there was never an issue when it came to who's taking the last shot.
All three of them.
Who's taking the last shot? How are they going to share the ball? That was never the problem.
How do they-
When they played together, you're a professor. They didn't fail. They never took the tests.
How do they work that out, though? How do they work that out? I'm asking first. They're rushing to ask for a trade first. All three of them asked for a trade, and two of them rescinded it. Okay, they all asked for it,
Wait, right. Not even once.
Then KD
200
like,
rescinded it, and the other one said, trade me again. This is Kyrie's second trade demand.
And then Kyrie said, okay, he wanted props for opting into his contract. I'm courageous. Oh, you're taking $36 million? That's courageous.
Oh, my God. What a story. What a story.
And you don't need a calculator for this. I know you're great at math anyway, but you don't need a calculator. How many series did they win overall?
I didn't come to Phoenix for this. I could have stayed home
They
and
won a
gotten this.
series. Let's say, okay. I know, Kevin, people talk about the shoe all the time, but let's talk about some other series. No, that's it. That's it. That's all we got. Just the shoe.
My gosh.
That's all we can talk about, the shoe. There's no other great playoff series that the Brooklyn Nets won. It's a shame, though. It's a stunning underachievement and a stunning breakdown of the, just relationships. It's a relationship story. It really is.
Well, listen, because it's a relationship story, Natalie, and given the history of Kyrie's relationships, we know how his relationship with Dallas is going to end. It's going to end badly one way or the other. But in the meantime, can Dallas has been searching for a star to go alongside Luka forever. The perfect star does not exist because that perfect star wouldn't be available to begin with. A two-way player who can, play seamlessly alongside Luka, that guy doesn't exist on the open market. I like the pickup for Dallas. I get the pickup for Dallas. They had to be aggressive here. They got a guy who could take some of the scoring load, even if they get worse defensively with Kyrie. Look, Kyrie is one thing he can do.
Oh, he can ball.
He can get it, but he can get his alongside another superstar.
Yeah.
Whether that's LeBron or KD or whoever. I love it though for Brooklyn because they
really.
Well, I love it for Brooklyn because look, all jokes aside, but all good humor is rooted in truth. They get beyond this toxic relationship. They get deeper and more versatile, especially defensively.
Yeah.
And now they got some pieces to play with, maybe on the trade market. They may do something else to build around Durant. Before we bring in Vinny Goodwill, your take on this trade, Natalie, from the first Super Bowl, giving your NBA expertise.
I agree with you. I mean, the Nets have a squad, and the immediate reaction by Nets fans is to kind of be disappointed and upset, and I understand all of that given what they've been through. But their team is actually very good. Like, I think if they end up seeing the Celtics in the postseason, they're not getting swept again. It's a better, more well-rounded
progress.
team. In terms of the Mavericks, I think they're going to be fun offensive team. They're going to outscore a lot of people, won't be able to defend anything.
Right.
I don't think this is a contending team that will go all the way, but it'll be fun. And, I think it gives Dallas an ability to make a deeper postseason run.
Yeah, they went for it.
Wow. So you guys think this is really I wonder if
I get it for Dallas. I love it for Brooklyn.
Okay. I wonder if Kevin Durant loves it for Brooklyn because that's the big question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know
somebody
Vinny,
who might have some answers on this because he's got answers on everything else. He's been all over this story as he is on every NBA story. Vincent Goodwill is with us now. Vince, we wish you were here in person in Phoenix where Chris Paul was almost shipped out. In exchange for Kyrie Irving. He almost went to Brooklyn. Vinny, you heard what we got to say. Just give us your overall thoughts on what this whether you like this trade for either team, both team, neither teams, or what's next? Because we still got a couple of days before the trade deadline, Vin.
I don't think this does as much for Dallas as people think. Like one reason Dallas was able to kind of make a Western Conference Finals run last year was because you had a couple of good defenders on that team. Now you've added Kyrie Irving, right? You've got another shot maker if he shows up to work. Remember, this is the guy that says, I am a leader of this team, and the next day asks for a trade after 6 weeks of good behavior, along with wanting 4 years and $200 million. There might be only one NBA owner that desperate to take on a guy, and that's Mark Cuban, right? Now, imagine what Kyrie's surprise is going to be when he finds out that this is a tryout, right? That this is not something that is guaranteed for him to get all of that money. Because if you look at what Dallas gave up, they didn't give up the farm. They gave up a really important piece in Dorian Finney-Smith, like a guy that sort of connects all things because he doesn't need the ball, because he defends and everything else, right? Can you imagine how exhausted those other two defenders on Dallas is going to be when Luka and Kyrie and Christian Wood are taking all these shots? So not only am I not getting the ball, but I gotta make up for y'all on the half court end of defense.
We gotta cover 2 on 5.
No. So here's where the most intriguing thing to me is, who's getting Kevin Durant?
That's the question.
Is that the next shoe to drop? No pun intended. Is that the next too small shoe to drop?
One of his shoes is up there on your wall.
Man,
there, Benny.
Can we not talk about shoe sizes in front of Natalie? I do not feel like getting yelled at or FCC airwaves about a shoe size, right? Now, because that move, y'all, didn't really do anything as far as changing the hierarchy in the West, you know what would change the hierarchy in the West? If, say, a team like the Golden State Warriors said, hey, Kevin, let's bring that old thing back again, right? Because this thing we got this year ain't quite working, and we know you're searching for some stability and some familiarity.
Now so in the summer.
Now why bring it back on home?
Now, Vinny, in the summer, you know, the next to last trade request from this big three.
It's hard to keep up.
that came up. But it was quickly dismissed. Natalie, as our resident Golden State Warriors expert, does it make more sense now, given the state of the Warriors, to entertain a reunion?
The appetite was always somewhat there for both sides. But I think Phoenix is probably a more realistic team to watch than the Warriors. And I think Phoenix probably has more to offer that the Nets would want than the Warriors. But Joe Lacob has really been unwilling to give up what he has. He would do that probably for a player like Kevin Durant.
Vinny, given what the Nets got in return, I think the Nets did pretty well, all things considered. Now, look, Joe Tsai was like, I don't care what the Lakers offering me. You ain't going where you want to go. You know what I'm saying?
That's payback right there. that is dirty.
All things considered, I think they got a pretty good return for Kyrie, and most important, they got rid of a headache. So you think Durant definitely would want out, despite how well, at least I think, Brooklyn did in this trade?
If there's one thing I know about Kevin Durant, one thing that Kevin Durant has shown, he does not want it all on his shoulders. 360 days ago, he had James Harden. 5 days ago, he had Kyrie Irving. He has none of those guys now. And you mean to tell me that the poo-poo platter of teammates that he has relative to the stars that he thought?
Platter.
Yes, it is.
Relative.
Yes, it is.
Michael Smith. Relative.
I heard you say relative. I heard you.
Yes.
But you say I also heard poo-poo. That's like no disrespect,
So considering y'all like really bad love songs, I'm going to give y'all an opening bar to what Kevin Durant should be saying. I know some of these so-called players wouldn't tell you this.
Sing it,
I'm going to
Vin.
be real and show what's on my heart.
Sing it, Vinny.
He should call Steve Kerr. He should call Bob Myers. He should call Stephen Curry.
And say we ain't getting no younger, we might as well do it. We ain't getting no younger.
We might as well do this right damn now.
Vinny, I will take that as you coming along and coming around to seeing the brilliance of let's get married. I appreciate that, Vin. Thank you.
Michael Smith, if ever a man says anything to a woman about a marriage proposal and says, I know some of these so-called players wouldn't tell you this, talking up, like hating on some other dudes that ain't even there, and that's the opening bar for a marriage proposal, I swear to you, we have lost recipes. We have completely lost recipes.
It worked. Maybe it worked. It worked for a lot of people.
Yes, it did.
It worked for a lot of people. I don't know.
Have higher standards.
Hey.
Look, I got an older sister.
Hey.
If some dude came to my older sister and said that, and she said yes, she will be disowned before she changed her last name.
Well,
but
I'll tell you this too. These guys are talking about toxic relationships. The reason people stay in toxic relationships, one of the reasons, because they see some value. Well, that too. But
wait, what did he say?
Sex.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course he did. But the reason they stay,
Vinny.
the reason they stay.
I wouldn't say we can't take Vinny nowhere, but he's still at home.
Yeah, Vinny. That's why.
He ain't even here.
That's why you're not here. And that's why you're not here. Okay. But they stay because they see some value. And so, as toxic as Kyrie is, 27 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, starting the All-Star game. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if he still wants to do that. And so, you can't tell me, oh, the Nets did well. No, the Nets didn't do well.
Well, just like he said, relative to the All-Stars he had, it's a poo-poo platter, relative, right? I said all things considered. It's like You're trading a superstar.
This is why Joe Tsai said, but Joe Tsai got in the way. And I understand why.
Hold on.
I understand why he's being petty.
Talent.
Wait, Mike.
I understand why he's being petty, though.
I'm going to come back to that, Vinny.
He didn't get the best deal, though. He didn't get the best deal because
what was the best deal?
Because whatever it was, there was something
Lakers
better. He didn't want him to go. He didn't want him to go.
I don't know that Russell Westbrook.
No, it was a 3-team trade, though. It was a 3-team trade. So he had assets coming from 2 teams potentially. And he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to see Kyrie land in L.A. So he chose his ego over the best deal.
Perhaps.
But I don't think it's a situation like what Pop did, where like he actually could have gotten probably a better deal and still sent Kawhi to Toronto. I do think that this is probably one of the better deals that he could get. So I don't think he hurt. Even though he was like, I'm not sending you where you want to go, I don't think he hurt the team also in the process.
Vinny, you said you emphasized superstar talent. And that's why I was challenging you on the poo-poo platter part. Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, versatile, better defenders, not as ball dominant, probably better fits from a team standpoint. And you're probably right about Kevin Durant and what he doesn't want. He doesn't want it to be all on him, right? Maybe so. But we spent the whole opening segment, and all we've talked about is how for all the superstar talent, to your point, Vinny, that the Brooklyn Nets had with Kyrie and James Harden alongside KD, what do they have to show for it? So that's why I feel like they might be in a better situation come playoff time than they otherwise would have been, because otherwise they're relying on Mr. Unreliable. And so far, what has that gotten them? So that's why I feel like they have made out, for all intents and purposes, just by getting rid of the headache, getting rid of the distraction, getting rid of the cloud. Who knows if he decided to play the rest of the year? All that stuff is out the door. Almost anything you get in return of value is gravy to me, Vinny.
Okay, I kind of understand you on that one, but did any one of you honestly believe that the Brooklyn Nets, even with a healthy Kevin Durant, even with Kevin Durant being in the conversation of, best player alive, right? Did any of y'all really believe they were going to beat Boston or Milwaukee with Kyrie Irving? I didn't.
Right.
Okay, so if that's the answer, no, Kyrie Irving isn't a quote-unquote superstar. Yeah, it may be more reliable guys that you get, but it doesn't bring you any closer to that level, to that upper echelon. It puts you further back. Now you have Kevin Durant, who's going to have to come back off of injury and then rush like he did last year. Remember, he rushed to the finish line, and by game 3 of that series against Boston, when they got swept, that man was exhausted, right? So you're going to put yourself in the same situation this time. Now, the Kyrie thing with the Lakers.
Thank you. I was going to bring that up.
For the past 3 months, we've been saying the Lakers have nothing to offer but a poo-poo platter, right?
That's a real poo-poo platter.
They're a real poo-poo platter. They did not put both draft picks on the table along with 2 rotation players. So take the pettiness out of it. Was it actually the best deal that the Brooklyn Nets could have gotten? And if the answer is no, then it's not about Joe Tsai being petty, because I truly believe it's Sean Marks that came to Joe Tsai and said, hey, this is the best deal for our present and our future. Forget where Kyrie Irving is going. I do think that some level of cooler head would have prevailed, but the Lakers didn't put their best foot forward. Why? Because they didn't trust Kyrie Irving. Why did Joe Tsai not want to trade Kyrie Irving to the Lakers? Because Kyrie Irving made that bet. Regardless of what happens here, we've got to realize the Dallas Mavericks did not get better. Kyrie Irving is not in that much of a better situation, and we still don't know. There's still no guarantee that this guy's going to get 4 years and $200 million this offseason. So while it looks on his face like he won, he's still at Baltic Avenue, and y'all betting he gonna get the boardwalk. I need to see it.
But that's why. All well said. I think maybe we'll see if Dallas is better. They're definitely different. But if I'm going to bet on a Kyrie Irving, I'm going to bet on the one that knows he has to not only be on his best behavior, but play his best ball if he wants to get anything close to the contract he wants.
Hold on.
He has every incentive.
He didn't learn.
He has every incentive.
I know, Vinny. He's not learning.
If there's a chance that Kyrie Irving is going to act right, it's now. If there's a chance.
Michael Smith. I was born yesterday, but I stayed up all night.
All right,
but
Denzel.
I remembered in the womb, when I was in the womb, because I wasn't born until yesterday, that Kyrie Irving entered the season in the contract year, right?
And he played well. And he played great. He didn't get the contract he wanted on the terms he wanted, and he asked out. He Kyrie'd this thing, but he's been playing well.
Michael Smith, what happened before he started playing his best ball? What did he do on the Twitter machine?
Oh, why you got to go bringing up old shit?
But also, the thing about it is this is not just about like how Kyrie performs and what he does and his reliability. There's also Luka, who's a factor in what happens in Dallas. Because Luka had to sign off on this, and they have to – Luka wanted help. And so at the end of the day, if they're not going to keep Kyrie, they have to also have an answer for Luka because they could also risk losing him too. So
that's why they had to do it.
It's not all just about Kyrie.
And that's why I say I get it. Hey, Vinny, I get the sense trade deadline still a couple days away.
We'll be talking to you again.
You might be bringing you back. Why don't you just fly out to Phoenix? I'm sure there's some Suns. Maybe, who knows? The Suns may do something. Just fly to Phoenix preemptively. Come kick it with us. Talk NBA. Talk football, which you know less about than you do basketball, which is saying something. I'm kidding.
Wow. On the way out.
I love you. Let him go. Let him go for you. Let him go for you. Say something. Let him go. Bye,
you know what's coming. You know what he's trying to say.
What's funny?
There it is.
I will be in LA for the LeBron, the LeBron Fest, right?
Yes.
And then Kyrie's debut is Wednesday against the Clippers. So I can easily
make a detour.
Come and fly. You know what, Michael? If only you were not in the Hairline Hall of Fame, I would have something. I would have a really clever and snappy comeback. But I really ain't got nothing.
I'm shocked. Or maybe you just using your better judgment because I know you got something. You just decided not to get us canceled. I appreciate you, man. We love you.
All right, Vinny.
we love you.
Is there a thought in your head that, man, I gave a lot. I need to exhale. I got to give this thing some space here. Is that like time? I'm talking 15 months. I'm talking 18 months.
Yeah. I think for me, absolutely. And even, decompression's important. You're on this kind of really crazy treadmill / hamster wheel for a long time, loving the moment, loving the journey. At the same time, it's a daily fight. You wake up every day just like you do. And I have appreciation for so many people that are so committed every day to showing up to put their max effort into their life and their career. And I think for me, I want to be great at what I do. And even, talking even last week with the people at Fox Sports, and the leadership there allowing me to start, my Fox opportunity in the fall of 2024 is something that's great for me. So take some time to really learn, become great at what I want to do, become great at, thinking about the opportunity and making sure I don't rush into anything.
All right, brother from another back here at Super Bowl 57 from Phoenix. A regular at Super Bowls, and specifically here in Phoenix, is, of course, Tom Brady, who is now retired. Chris Sims, as an excellent broadcaster yourself, former player turned broadcaster yourself. I mean, Brady should be calling you up. But
37.5. Please, NBC, give me that.
Well, so he's starting it. You're almost there. He's starting
just a nudge away.
Yeah, he's starting in 24. But I don't know, man. Even some about the answer, some about how he responded, kind of gave me some encouragement about the kind of broadcaster he'll be when he starts. He seemed incredibly at peace and relaxed and thoughtful. Not that he's never not that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think we've only seen him responding to questions as an NFL quarterback, not as a former quarterback. So maybe there's a guard that he will
let go,
instinctively let down, now that he no longer has to either toe the Patriot or Buccaneer company line.
Right. Well, and we saw him let down the guard a little bit when he went from New England to Tampa, right?
Yeah.
We saw that, so he's capable.
Yeah.
I've been around Tom a lot in my life. Tom's cool as hell.
Yeah.
He's fun to talk to.
Yeah.
Yes, if he doesn't have Bill Belichick, looking over his shoulder, he's a lot cooler. That's for sure. I don't doubt that he'll be great at this job. I don't. I think he's, I think people, well, maybe he'll be a little too robotic, whatever. He's not. He's not going to be robotic. He's a great communicator.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, he's cool with everybody in the locker room. The country guy, the guy from the hood, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Old,
he's
young.
Cool. Right.
Yeah.
He's cool with them all.
Yeah.
So he's got that special way, let alone we know he's going to work and he's going to be emotionally invested in it because he's going to want to be good at it.
Yeah.
Good for him. Take a year off. You deserve that. You got a rough year with his family, all of that. Maybe get a little practice in announcing the game so the haters don't jump on you right away,
Sure.
Oh, man, they let go of Greg Olsen. Tom can't even tell me what's going on here in the third, right? So I think there's a lot of positives here. And
he also
I'm
gets some removal for us because we don't – it's like if he jumps right into it. I know talk about him doing something for this year's Super Bowl. If he jumps right into it, then it's still – a little too close. A little too close to what just happened, what just finished. Now he gets to be a year removed. I like that for him. But as far putting a wrap on, I guess, his career, because he seems serious,
it's over.
Despite my skepticism and other skepticism. His dad, and Charles Robinson talked to us about this, about, people around the league noticing, and I'm sure you did, his reluctance, his uncharacteristic reluctance to hold on to the ball and take hits.
Yeah.
His dad gave voice to that about Brady telling Brady Sr., I'm tired of getting hit.
Yeah.
Can you, you didn't get hit for 23 years.
No, right.
But, can you speak to exactly, because that's something I think we took for granted about Brady, is how physically, it was always about Father Time, he's defeated Father Time.
Yeah.
He could still play.
Right.
He's obviously still sharp.
Stand
He's
in there and take it.
But how that takes a toll on you.
It does. It takes a toll on you. It starts to take a mental and physical effect on you. And you get to an age, again, I can't speak to that. I lived with a guy that can speak with that, and my dad. And, the problem, and we're seeing this with Aaron Rodgers, too, right now. It's a little bit more preservation than ever before in their careers, where you knew these are guys that'll do whatever they got to do to win the football game, but they're also, waking up in the morning on a Monday going, damn, I'm more sore now than I've ever been in my life, let alone they want to continue their career and continue to play at a high level. But I think it is that preservation that comes into, yes, there's a handful of plays every game where I go, damn, Brady 5 years ago, 8 years ago, he would have stood in there and thrown that 20-yard in cut. He had it. Man, he had it. And then it's, instead, the last year or two, it's a little, let me just get it out, and, hey, we're getting to 2nd and 7 and move on. And that's cool. You can work it that way. It's just hard to win a Super Bowl that way. There's only so many opportunities you get to go, here comes a 35-yard post down the middle or a big in cut that you get to take advantage of. I think that's where it gets hard. And then when you start to worry about that a little bit and you're getting hit, then you start to not read defenses the right way either.
Yeah.
You start to go, well, I'm not going to wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get here, and you go, get in the film room the next day, and the coach goes, well, why didn't you? This is going to be open, and I'm sure he gives some answer that not totally truthful, but that's one thing that is undefeated.
Yeah.
Father Time, he's been beating him up a little bit.
Yeah. Those body
but
blows
this
start to
part,
add up.
it's starting to get him a little.
They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. Who really wants to get hit by some of these guys?
Exactly.
I'm saying to Mike on the way in, Tom Brady has been a part of 2 classic Super Bowls here.
Yeah.
18-1.
Right.
Your Giants win.
Dodgy, man.
Okay. Then he was a part of, Malcolm Butler's Super Bowl here.
It's amazing.
Now, he wasn't a part of, Pittsburgh and Dallas. I think that the
Super
third,
Bowl 30.
the third and 4 years for the Cowboys right there.
I was there for that.
All right. So you were there for that one.
Yeah.
How about this one?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a classic?
I think this is going to be a classic.
You think so?
I do.
Why?
Well, I think, one, they're the 2 best teams in football, or at least in that, the 49ers, sure, at full strength. We can
I'm about to say, Brandon and Aiyuk would disagree.
Brandon Aiyuk is like, nah, hands down.
I hear you. I mean, the 49ers are stacked. We know that. We do. The Eagles are the best team in football. To me, there's no weakness on the Eagles football team. There's probably the weakest position on their roster is running back, and it's not like it's bad. So they still have plenty of options and depth there. Now the Chiefs are not as good as the Eagles, but not so less than that. The Magic Man wearing 1-5, the guy that's already an all-time great for my money, can't tip the scales and go, oh, no, whoa. Like the 49ers were better than the Chiefs in the 2019 Super Bowl. I have no doubt about that. That team was better. But when you got that quarterback, even though you're a little lesser, then you win by 10. So I think there's a lot of interesting matchups within the game here, let alone there's studs on both sides of the ball. And I think it's 2 teams that kind of relish the big lights, and I'm going to make the big play and do all that. I don't think it's going to be like 38-35, but I think 28-24, 28, somewhere in that range, right? That's kind of how I look at it.
Fellas, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to predict that a black quarterback is going to win this year's Super Bowl.
I do like that.
But what if one of the starting black quarterbacks gets hurt?
Well,
maybe I'll take the under.
Leads me perfectly into talk about injured quarterbacks.
Right.
And we'll talk more about the game throughout the week. But the 49ers.
Yeah.
Remember when Joe Montana was the GOAT, by the way?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, we old enough to remember that, right?
Sure. He was my GOAT.
Yeah,
that was my guy.
Yeah.
Joe Montana was out
Joe.
with our man Mike Silver, and he had some thoughts about the future of the 49ers quarterback position, which is certainly in flux.
Right.
Before that championship game, it was going to be Purdy next year on a rookie contract. And Trey Lance probably would have hung around and been the backup. But what do you do if you're them now?
Well, I start Jimmy. He has won a lot of games. I can't say the same for Trey, right? You don't know that from him. I don't think it's hard. I think you just start Jimmy.
The hard part is that Jimmy has a no franchise tag clause and he's a free agent. So you got to really show him the love to try to get him back.
He still won a lot of games before he got hurt, right? And so he put him in that position to be able to go on that run to begin with. So you handed a guy a team sort of like somebody else I know got handed a good team. So you got to go with the guy who's been winning the games and gets the offense and go from there.
Was that
that a shot
shade?
of Steve Young? That was a shot? Right. Right.
And Steve Young, I'll say this all the time. Give me Steve Young circa 1992 to 1995 over anybody.
He's pretty amazing.
Over anybody.
I'm not going to go anybody,
No.
but
Anybody.
it's pretty
Baddest
awesome.
mofo.
Well, I mean, to me, he's just making the point of those are great teams.
They
the
were.
49ers.
They were
great teams.
And so,
with no salary cap era.
That's true.
So that's the people forget.
And so what's old is new again. We've been talking about reruns the whole show.
Yeah.
So we know Aaron Rodgers, out of his own mouth, didn't go into San Francisco.
Right.
Where do the Niners go with this stacked team and this huge void at the quarterback position?
I mean, I don't think it's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay.
That's the first thing I'll say.
Right.
That's over
That
and
ship
done
has
with.
sailed.
I think he's done with it. And again, I think you just saw. I mean, the only thing I'd argue with Joe there is just go, Joe. We saw another guy come in, and the offense was every bit as good, if not better, and
yeah.
is maybe as good as we've seen the 49ers look over the last few years, right? So that's where I would, and that's no disrespect to Jimmy G. I understand he's starting caliber type of quarterback in football, but I think they're also trying to build something here for the future and have kind of a young nucleus. I have a hard time. I don't. Trey Lance is like Brock Purdy. I would expect if he can throw the ball somewhat close to 100%. By the time training camp comes, I expect him to be the starter. I do.
Yeah.
Brady's retired, so that's gone.
Yeah.
Right. I do think there was some let's feel each other out at the end.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
By Brady or the Niners, either way.
Okay.
Right. That was the one that made the most sense to me. Brady wasn't going to come back to some team that was like, we might go to the wild card game, right? He's going to a team that can win the Super Bowl, right? So the 49ers are the short list of those teams available. But I think, the team loves Brock Purdy.
Yep.
Right? Trey Lance, there's the rawness factor. Can he get the weapons, the ball? Debo Kittle, can he do that on a consistent basis, right? And here we are, another year that would scare me with Trey Lance is we had the COVID year. He had a rookie year he didn't play. Now he didn't play again. He's never ran a 2-minute drill in a game in his life to this point, other than some preseason football, right? So those are the things where I go, I just don't know where this goes, and we might have fallen too far behind the curve to think we're going to.
So two ships might have sailed.
I wouldn't be shocked if two ships sailed.
Yeah.
I could see Brock Purdy with more of an established veteran coming in
As a
behind him
bridge.
as a bridge, just in
If he
case
needs
if
more
Purdy
time.
gets hurt or if
Yeah.
it does fall apart a little bit,
Yeah.
then that would be how I would envision
Maybe
it.
Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan.
And they move on from Trey Lance.
I mean, again, I have no inside info there.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
But it just, the whole situation seems awkward. And then I ought to think with Trey Lance, too, he's got to be sitting here going, where is the future
What's
for
up?
me?
Right.
Sure.
Right? And then also what plays into that, if they did want to trade him or what could you get at this point for a Trey Lance? So there's a lot of things that go on in this scenario.
I got to like this. I like a guy who shoots his shot, just puts it right out there. Davante Adams is like, Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Are you asking me if I want Aaron Rodgers to throw me the ball? Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I want to put it
course.
out there.
Right.
What's the likelihood of that?
Yeah,
happening?
what signs are you seeing? Because I'm going to this astrological thing. I don't know if you're going to check it out too.
Oh, I like.
I need to learn to love myself
astrology.
more. Yeah?
I do. I'm a Virgo. I mean, I'm into that stuff. I really am. I mean, not like every day reading my horoscope. But.
So, I'm about to say, what are the signs? Are you reading the signs?
Well, listen, I know those guys out with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right. I know how they work. I worked up in New England with Josh McDaniels. I played for him. Dave Ziegler was there. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is their cup of tea. I don't look at it that way. Aaron Rodgers wants to be the king of the castle. That's what he is. He's, that's the way Green Bay is. They went from Favre to him. They let their quarterback sing in the king of the castle. But McDaniel never going, wait, we just were with the GOAT, and he wasn't even the king of our castle. So you're not going to come in here and just tell us how to run the offense and do that. It's a total adjustment as far as the offense itself. And then here's my other thing. I mean, the New England way. If you're going to hire McDaniel and Dave Ziegler from New England, to me, this isn't like, we're going to turn it around in 1 year. You're in it for the long play, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Their ability to find value free agents and value in the draft is what made New England who they were for 20 years.
I think their best
so
play
you
is
got to let that work.
Stidham and draft a guy.
Exactly.
That's, I think, their best play.
That's, to me, where I would
also,
think.
look how bad Derek Carr looked. I don't think Derek Carr looked at times incompetent in that system.
Yeah.
That's a hard system for people to pick
it is
up.
hard.
You can't help yourself. You just crushing it.
No, I
crushing
said in that system. No, in that system.
Well, he had some moments where you go, for a guy that's making $40 million a year this year, you go, man, that play was there for you. This was,
it's
there's a handful of games
It's the only
where,
way to explain how Jarrett Stidham could look better than Derek Carr ever did is because of his familiarity with that system.
He had Davante Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and the #1 rusher in football, right? And I think whenever that happens and all that kind of was successful for the most part, and then you go, wait, we're not winning games, you look at it and you go, wait. And then we can get into a few games where I know just specifically watching on film, whether it was the Jaguars game, the Rams game, where at the end of the game, the Steelers game, where there were some plays in the second half where you just go, man, you play too much football to miss that throw or not make this throw or all that. Right. And I think, again, they're from a place where they're like, wait, our quarterback makes that throw, hangs in the pocket, whatever, and it just wasn't their cup of tea. So
real quick before we let you go, Derek Carr had a lot of fun at the Pro Bowl.
Right.
And honestly, quick Pro Bowl take.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch those guys have fun.
It was. I agree.
They seemed to enjoy themselves, and that was a fun watch. But he had some fun at his own expense at times. Good sport that he is. Best fit for him before we let you go.
I mean, I think Houston's going to go QB, right? If Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is where I would like to be the one place I would look at, I think Derek Carr could be the guy that could end up being there with the Jets. I do.
Yeah.
I don't envision Carolina and Frank Reich going, let me try the new quarterback thing that's established again.
Yeah.
He's already got a reputation for that, right or wrong. I don't think it's really right to put that on him. But that situation, I just go, man, he's dealt with that enough here. I don't think you're going to start that again. The Colts are a team you look at to go, would they do that again? I have a hard time thinking
maybe
Chris
it's
Ballard,
Tampa, if you want to be the guy to follow the guy.
Maybe Tampa. If Houston maybe wanted to go, maybe you want to draft a quarterback, and we felt like he's going to take a little time to develop.
Yeah.
But as the time goes on, I don't know. I kind of feel like the Jets are the team that makes sense scheme-wise, that offense, and I don't know if they'll have to, whether it's free agency or trade. That's the other thing here, too, with Derek Carr, too. Will they trade for him? Are they going to cut him? Can he find another team that's going to pay him $40 million a year for sure? Those are the things that at least percolate in my brain.
All right, brother. Well, you work 40 in every penny.
Thanks, man.
Ain't no way Brady should be making more than you.
What?
What'd you say?
Besides them 7 rings, man, what do you got on you?
You said you won 37.5. Would you take half of that?
Yes.
I take half of that. I take half of that.
I'm with you.
Good to see you, man. I didn't see you all
you.
season. Well, I saw you on Sunday Night Football.
Brother Sims.
I didn't see you on Brother from Another.
I saw you. I'm
The
still
show
your brother
felt
from
incomplete.
another.
All right, good.
I'm still the
We didn't do the
white
we forgot to
We didn't
put
do
you
the
in the
Oreo
middle.
thing, though. We didn't do that.
We
today.
forgot to
We
put
didn't
you
do
in the middle.
Oreo cookie today.
Yeah.
What the
What's up
hell?
with that?
I think the Chiefs. I don't know. I just think Philly definitely has.
got Kelsey. Even
They got their
Shea
hands full.
falling out.
They got their hands full. I don't know fully about that defense. I don't know. They talk about them being a good defense. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure. I think the pass game, this Kansas City pass game will expose what we thought we were going to be able to expose before some unfortunate circumstances happen. So we'll see. But like I said, you got to get lucky to win the Super Bowl, and they just got extremely lucky last week. So who's to say they can't do it twice?
I mean, tell us how you really feel, Brandon Aiyuk. Mike Jones from The Athletic is here. Go ahead, Mike. Just what?
Like these dudes right here, okay? This is what I can't stand about. I can't stand the 49ers. They all got that Aiyuk spirit. They all have it. Okay, he said hands down, Mike Jones, hands down the best team in football. If you are hands down the best at anything, if they take away a hand, you still gonna win.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about your your quarterback went out. I wish Brock Purdy had stayed in the game. I wish he had stayed. I wish Hassan Reddick hadn't hurt him. Yeah. So we wouldn't have to deal with these 49ers excuse makers. These are the biggest excuse makers in football.
But if they didn't even keep it close, though.
How you gonna keep it close with Josh Johnson?
No, but I'm saying, like, if you're going to say that, you gotta at least keep it close.
You better than everybody else. You need a
quarterback. I don't know a quarterback.
You should be able to put
quarterback-driven league. Listen, man.
Hey,
listen.
Do they think better than anybody else? Who told? Hey, Brandon, who told your head coach to block Reddick with a tight end?
Okay, that was dumb. That was dumb. That was dumb.
Who told your head coach not to call a timeout or throw a challenge flag on a Davante Smith catch? Who told your head coach is going to halftime with 3 timeouts?
Can it be
hands down?
Can it be a reason and not an excuse, Mike Jones? Why the 49ers are not here?
Sit down.
I mean, the reason is that they ran through 3 quarterbacks and they had and they couldn't. But there were also other things that led to that. It wasn't just the quarterback. Now, that was a big domino that triggered all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to. I mean, good job for them for having 3 quarterbacks that were capable of playing. But I mean, again, you named a number of decisions there that Kyle made that kind of hamstrung his team there.
Yeah.
And there were shortcomings all across the board. It wasn't just that.
But here's the thing. I think the moral of this story is, moving on from the 49ers, they're at home.
Okay.
They're at home.
They're home.
They're at home.
At home with
the
us.
Eagles are here.
Yes.
We're not at home, but
I'm saying, but at home we'll be watching. We'll be watching.
Exactly.
They'll be watching just like we're watching.
Right. Why is it open season on not just the Eagles, but Nick Sirianni in particular?
I don't.
Where's the disrespect for him coming from all of a sudden?
I don't know if it's just because, I mean, you have a second-year guy here who's going up against a legendary guy, and you got to figure out, okay, he can't be this good. There's got to be something, you know what I mean? And it's hard to, I mean, look, give him his props for what he's done and how he's, developed this team and turned it around very quickly. But, I mean, I guess you hate to give them that much credit for that quickly turning it around. I don't know if that's what it is or what.
Yeah, I mean, is there any truth? Is there any truth to? I mean, I know they're exaggerating. Hey, the Eagles, Brandon Aiyuk says, they're not that good in the passing game. A good passing game will expose them. Or I know the Giants got stung by them. So hey, he's got a great offense. So he's not really doing that much. Is there any truth in any of this criticism for Sirianni that you see?
I don't think so. I mean, because the thing is, they had an easy time in the playoffs. They didn't really have to air it out. They didn't have to throw in either one of those games. But would you look at what they did throughout the whole season? Yeah, they had a softer schedule, but they took care of business.
Was it?
You know what I mean?
I mean, I looked at their record against winning teams. They had one of the best records. I think they were 9-1.
Yeah, well, going into the season, it looked like one of the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, they still took care of business.
Statistically speaking, they have one of the best pass rushes of all time.
Yes.
4
guys with double-digit sacks
across
the board.
I mean, I think both of us expect a close game, but if anybody's getting the benefit of the doubt, it feels like, just from a conversation standpoint, it feels like it's Kansas City, given they have an all-time great quarterback. But man, what if Philadelphia does to Kansas City what Tampa's offense did?
Right.
Tampa's defense, I beg your pardon, did to Patrick Mahomes. What if Patrick Mahomes got to throw more, halfway off the ground passes?
Or if he has to move. Or if he just has to move around a little bit more than he did in that Cincinnati game.
I hate to play the disrespect card on somebody else's behalf, but it does feel like Philadelphia is not getting the respect it deserves, maybe because they had such an easy time in the playoffs, but that's really got more to do with them.
Yeah, but I think that's why people are like, they can't possibly be this good. They can't quite give themselves into believing. But the thing is, the proof is there, all the statistically in their defense. And look, their offense, one of the leading offenses across the board as well. So, I mean, I don't feel like they shouldn't be there. I feel like you have the best team in the NFC and the best team in the AFC. This is what you want.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mike, I hate to say
Mike?
this.
Both of us?
Yeah, Michael Smith.
Okay.
I'm not sure the game's going to be close. Much respect for Kansas City.
I thought you were expecting the Classic.
I asked if it will be a Classic.
Okay.
And Classic games usually here.
Okay.
I think Philadelphia is a cut above.
Okay.
I think they are the best team. Brandon Aiyuk, I think they're the best team in football, hands down, the Eagles. And I think it's going to be hard for Kansas City to match up with them in certain areas.
That running game, man. Good luck.
It's like,
the Chiefs are top 10 against the run.
No question. But against this run offense, this is a different beast with that quarterback and that offensive line.
And
it's a different
simple.
beast.
I mean, this is like a good teaching moment. If you had somebody who just okay, tell me why Philadelphia is good. You just say O-line, D-line.
They're right.
You just start right there.
They built it up front.
And they got – so I think they have more than any – filling the opponent, they got more than the opponent when it comes to that.
No, I agree with you.
I think it might be like a 10 or 14-point win for Philly.
Damn.
I mean, I think their defense will do very well. That's a lot of points. I mean, that's a big
10 points?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's not 3 scores. It's not three. It's not three. It's not.
Be quiet.
It's only.
It's not 30. It's not 31-7.
I mean, right? Exactly. For example.
That's what I thought you were saying.
Right. It's not like they're going to lose by 24.
We almost up against the clock, Mike. But you recently spoke to Doug Williams about the significance of and I said tongue-in-cheek earlier, my prediction is a black quarterback over the Super Bowl this year, which we've never been able to say that in just like that because we never had two facing off. But between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, one brother's going to have the Lombardi Trophy in his hands. It's special. How significant is it? And this is what I mean by that. At least I hope we're at a point, and there's always going to be double standards. There's always going to be unfair criticism. There's always going to be stereotypes assigned. That's just being black in America, regardless of what line of work you're in. But I don't think I think we're beyond the point where black quarterbacks have to prove that they can do it. I don't see this as a watershed moment that some owner, general manager, head coach, personnel guy is going to look and say, well, maybe I ought to reconsider how I view black quarterbacks. I don't think it's that. No. But it's special nonetheless. Why?
Right. No, it's special just because of the history and how hard it was for those guys to get the opportunity. As Doug said, now you're at a time where these coaches don't care what color you are. They will play the best guy to give them a chance to win.
These mostly white coaches don't care what color you are.
Exactly. When he was playing, he would see talented brothers on the bench because they were brothers and playing behind inferior talent. That's different now. But now just the fact that we almost don't even think about it. And it's like, whoa, it's not like, I remember when I was a kid, I was like, oh, look, they got a black quarterback. Yeah. Oh, they got a black. Now, you know what I mean? You've got these two guys here, excellent, among the top in their whole generation here.
Well, and that's
why it's significant.
And not only that, for the first time, not only is a black quarterback the best quarterback, but the face of the league, arguably, in Patrick Mahomes.
That's right.
We appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Mike Jones, good to see you, man. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.